Welcome to Boring Sleepy Historian. Tonight you'll slip into a world of distant winters, glowing lanterns, and the deepest sleep our ancestors ever knew. Imagine outside your window, the Arctic wind howls. Inside, warmth grows as stories flicker beside the fire. Let's begin our long journey through the most calming night in history. Before you realize, your mind will drift through time, across ancient kingdoms, snow-covered camps, and the gentle embrace of comfort. If your eyes are closing already, don't worry. This is exactly as it should be. Stay tuned, let sleep guide you, and if you enjoy the journey, join the Boring Sleepy Historian family by subscribing below. Now, let's turn out the lights, breathe slow, and go back to a forgotten world where sleep was magic, and every night was an adventure. The day fades behind heavy clouds, and winter's breath settles across the small northern village. Erik tightens the wooden shutters, watches ice crystals bloom over every window. Inside, it is dim, but a lantern glows soft and golden. Shadows ripple over the old fur blanket that Erik carries from his grandfather's room. He pauses by the iron stove, his hands outstretched to catch each bit of warmth, heart steadying for the night ahead. His grandmother sits waiting, wrapped in an immense woolen shawl, eyes glinting with 1,000 bedtime stories. "Tonight will be long, Erik," she murmurs. "But with every tale, every gentle memory, your sleep will grow deeper and sweeter." Erik feels a smile rise, something old and brave in his chest. Dinner is hot stew, steam curling through the kitchen. His younger sister Freya asks for a lullaby. Erik sings softly, recalling words from a distant, gentle land. The family gathers by the stove, hands entwined, their small world blooming with comfort and ritual. Erik's father tells the legend of the polar night, how ancient warriors bundled together, circled by dogs, layered in muskox fur and hope. Erik's mother rubs herbs over the pillow, sweet sage and lavender drifting through the room. His grandmother lights a candle, places it beside Erik's bed, and whispers, "Let its small flame guard you till morning." As the first snow begins to pile, Erik blinks into the window's darkness. He imagines explorers lost in blizzards, kings resting beneath velvet covers, and children everywhere, fighting off sleep with one last giggle. The dog, Odin, settles by Erik's feet paws, warming the blanket, breath gentle like the sound of distant sea waves. The old clock marks each minute with quiet certainty. The village seems to breathe with Erik, slowing as the long night comes near. Erik remembers his grandpa's advice. When you feel the night grow heavy and the cold press close, don't fear. Let sleep carry you through the longest dark. Erik turns down the lantern, arranges his furs and pillow. Freya knocks once at his door. "Sleep well, Erik." He answers, "And you, dream brightly." Silence fills the house. Erik watches the flame flicker, breath slowing, heart gentle, body drifting. He listens for the winter wind, remembering all the rituals his family taught, herbs tucked in the covers, stories spun to chase away monsters, soft singing from the kitchen. Every sense relaxes, every shadow softens. Outside, snow falls thicker. Inside, Erik closes his eyes, lets the ancient comfort fold him in. He imagines midnight journeys, sailing frozen rivers in Viking ships, exploring moonlit forests, finding peace among strangers who become friends. In dreams, he is sometimes alone, but never afraid. The stories swirl echoing with laughter, firelight, the quiet voice of history. Tonight, sleep becomes not just rest, but a slow, beautiful adventure into safety and wonder. The snow drifted steadily, blanketing the village in silence. Erik, now nestled deep in his small room, listened to the muffled wind against the wooden beams. Each gust seemed to carry ancient whisper secrets of nights survived by generations before him. The gentle glow of his lantern painted golden pools across the old woven rug. Erik's breath lingered in the cold air, mixing with the faint, soothing scent of lavender his mother and tucked beneath his pillow. He pulled the fur blanket tighter, feeling its weight settle his anxious heart. A distant chime from the clock echoed a reminder that hours would stretch on before dawn. But Erik was unafraid, guarded by rituals learned from years of winter and the comfort of family. His dog Odin, warmth and patience embodied, curled nearer, heart thumping a steady lull. The house itself sang a lullaby. Floorboards creaked as if sharing their restful dreams. Outside, the snow thickened. Inside, the comforting rituals continued. Grandma hummed an old song, her voice soft, rising and falling with the flicker of the candle. Freya, bundled in her room, giggled at the wild tales their father spun, stories of Viking explorers forging paths through endless blizzards, sheltering in hidden caves, falling into deep, restorative sleep after perilous travel. Erik's mind, half awake, half dreaming, wandered into those very legends. In imagination, he became the explorer, his boots crunching through icy tundra, lantern bobbing with every step. There was challenge and cold, but always hope and discovery. The sense of adventure hushed his worries, drawing him gently toward sleep. Soft music drifted through the walls, a melody picked on strings by tired hands. In this cocoon of sound and warmth, Erik began his journey into ancient dreams. He sailed starlit rivers, crossed snowy fields, heard lullabies and languages lost to time. The storm outside grumbled. Erik imagined it was not just the wind, but ancient guardians testing his resolve. They watched over all who dared rest in the darkest season, offering wisdom to those brave enough to seek deep sleep. He thought of the herbs laid carefully in his pillow, their fragrance now an anchor to the present moment and to centuries of peaceful sleep. Sage for protection, lavender for dreams, rosemary for courage. Each night, his mother repeated the ritual, passing down the power of rest with gentle hands. As the hours slipped by, Erik's thoughts grew heavy, sinking through layers of comfort. Odin snored softly. The flame danced with shadow. A sense of safety and quiet calm wrapped him like a second blanket. He remembered his grandmother's closing words at dinner. Every long night ends. Sleep carries us through. Outside, snow covered every path, erasing the world in soft white. Inside, family and story were all that remained. Erik's heartbeat slowed, breath deepened. He let go, released himself to the night, trusting in everything that had come before. His final waking thought, that in the quiet, in winter's gentle hold, every story is a bridge to deeper sleep and sweeter dreams. Erik dreamed within his haven as the world outside disappeared into icy silence. His breath ebbed and flowed with the wind's rhythm, his mind floating adrift. In that gentle twilight between wakefulness and dreams, time seemed to slow, stretching and bending, inviting him deeper into peaceful slumber. His body relaxed completely, every muscle soft, spine sinking into the mattress, shaped by years of family comfort. Odin's warmth at his feet radiated a silent, steady trust, a loyal companion through all of winter's trials. For Erik, every night was a new adventure. Some he knew well retold in stories and songs. Others waited, mysterious, just beyond the edge of memory. He found himself wandering in ancient forest, trees dusted with moonlight, snow glittering in endless rows, silent except for the crunch of his boots. In this dream, he walked to the edge of the village, past the gates marked with old runes, where history whispered through icy branches. A familiar presence walked beside him, his grandmother, her hand tucked gently in his, humming that lullaby of protection and hope. Erik asked her, "Why do the longest nights feel both lonely and safe?" She smiled, pointing toward the stars. "Because stories gather in the dark. They wrap around you, guard you, teach you how to rest." The sky above shimmered with constellations' shapes. Erik remembered from the old woven charts his sister and he had drawn when the days were longer and warmer. Each star, a tale. Each blinking light, A sleep secret passed from one soul to another. Odin ran ahead, sniffing out safe paths, barking softly at nothing visible, but certainly something familiar. In dreams, dogs saw everything: spirits, hopes, warmth lingering in frosty air. Erik's feet carried him through drifting snow, up a gentle rise where Viking warriors might have bedded down centuries ago. The wind gusted, swirling flakes around, but Erik felt only calm, protected in the comfort of his family's rituals and his own courage. He sat beneath a tall fir. He imagined placing his fur blanket down, lighting a tiny lantern to illuminate his space. Here, he was both the boy and the ancestor seeking sleep under stars, listening for lullabies in the wind. In the forest, he built a fire, a small, safe brightness against endless night. He watched as the flames danced, just as they did in his own room. The crackling sound was familiar, reminding him of home and peace. From the shadows emerged the people of story, explorers wrapped in thick coats, their faces gentle and smiling. A queen with her own candle and velvet pillow beckoning him to rest. Old friends and teachers carrying baskets of herbs, soft music drifting from ancient flutes. They greeted him, gathered together, story by story. Erik knew them. They were all elements of comfort, fragments of courage, parts of himself. Each night he remembered. Every sleep ritual he learned lived on in this magical nighttime space. He closed his eyes in the dream, feeling the warmth seep through his skin, while outside the real snow fell steadily. From somewhere distant, his grandmother's voice called, "Listen to the night. It wants to help you sleep, wants to calm your worries, wants to ease every ache." Erik listened. The wind bent softly against the trees. The stars blinked with patience. Each breath slowed, the heaviness of winter melting into the promise of rest. He knew, deep inside, that the longest night could never win, not when he was sheltered by story, ritual, family, faith, and love. In that gentle embrace, Erik drifted further into sleep, protected and at peace. His adventures would continue until dawn, calm and beautiful, guiding him and anyone listening into the deepest, sweetest dreams. Erik drifted even deeper, heart quiet and mind clear. In this space between dream and memory, everything was gentle. The worries of waking life faded, replaced by warmth and the wisdom of ancient sleep rituals. His grandmother appeared again, this time in a soft circle of candlelight. She beckoned him to join her on a low bench beside a glowing hearth. The room around them shimmered, a tapestry of forgotten ages, where every object held a story. There were old spoons shaped by fire, books bound in leather, furs collected by traveling ancestors. She handed Erik a small bowl filled with warm broth. "For courage," she said, nodding with a smile. Erik sipped and felt comfort seep through his chest, a warmth deeper than that found in blankets. "Do you know," she whispered, "that sleep is more than escape? It's the passage to healing, to kindness and joy. When you let yourself rest, you carry your family's hope with you, and their strength as well." He listened, savoring her words, the tone soft as falling snow. They spoke of long ago explorers, how they relied on rituals, fire, and dreams to survive the hardest nights. Erik imagined himself among them, huddled with friends after a day of journeying in cold, always moving closer to a place of sanctuary and sleep. Grandma told him of kings who slept beneath mountains of feathers, but still needed the companionship of wise stories. "Luxury isn't always comfort," she said. "True comfort is found in safety, in love, in familiar voices." Odin stretched beside the fire, yawning, his golden eyes settling with trust. Erik reached out, stroking his soft fur, feeling the steady heartbeat, a friendly drum that kept him tethered to this peaceful dream world. The clock on the wall ticked slowly, each second stretching, pulling Erik further into relaxation. Erik's mother appeared, carrying a bundle of dried herbs tied with ribbon. She crushed them softly, releasing scents of sage and rosemary, weaving them into the room. "These herbs are for gentle dreams," she explained. "They will guard you from worry, help you rest, and remind you night is a friend." They sat together, grandmother, mother, son, and Odin listening to the wind and the crackling fire. Each sound became softer, slower, washing away the last traces of tension from Erik's mind. Suddenly, from the window, a faint glow appeared. The moon, at its fullest, bathing the room in silver. Erik remembered another bedtime lesson. When trouble feels close, imagine the moon as a guardian. Its light shields your dreams, brings calm to every thought. He closed his eyes, picturing all those who had slept under the moon's watch, travelers, kings, children, explorers, families trying to find warmth in the cold. He felt the connection, a web of gentle sleep, stretching across centuries, holding him safe. The stories continued. Grandma told of a legendary sleep festival where villagers gathered each winter to share food, trade lullabies, and honor the spirit of rest. Erik drifted, imagining himself among them. Hearts joined in song and quiet celebration. Odin, sensing the change, curled even tighter, pressing his head to Erik's knee. The fire burned low. Shadows merged and softened, blending one scene into the next. Grandmother whispered, "When you feel alone, remember this. Every soul deserves comfort. Let sleep take you in its arms, and you will always wake stronger." The room faded, replaced by mist and gentle sound lullabies floating, stories threading through the air. Erik's breath slowed, matched by the rhythm of winter's deep quiet. As he descended further, he dreamed of fields covered in stars, rivers that sang, mountains layered with snow and silence. He floated, unafraid, guided by voices and light. He was, at last, ready for the long night to carry him home. The boundaries of dream and reality blurred as Erik sunk deeper into peaceful slumber. Soft echoes of laughter and conversation from long ago wove around him, comfortably distant, yet familiar as the rhythm of breath. He found himself wandering inside a grand hall, its walls lined with tapestries embroidered by centuries of hands. Flickering candlelight illuminated painted scenes, kings and queens sleeping soundly, explorers resting by their campfires, children curled like kittens on beds of moss and fur. Every face reflected the same serenity, safe, warm, lost in the beauty of sleep. Erik walked slowly, his footsteps muffled on ancient rugs. The scent of lavender and sage drifted from every doorway. He paused by a hearth where old friends, some he'd never met before, gathered to share their stories. A gentle voice called him closer, a kind merchant with eyes like the night sky. "Sit, Erik. Join us in the ritual. Tonight, we honor the joy of rest, the art of surrender tonight." He sat, enveloped by a chorus of whispers, fragments of lullabies from across the ages. They spoke of sleep festivals and midnight feasts, of the deep kinship found among those who trusted the darkness to heal their hearts. A storyteller, robed in blue velvet, held up a bowl of spiced milk. "For restful dreams and gentle courage," she said, and Erik took a sip, warmth blooming in his chest. The stories poured forth, a healer describing how she soothed anxious minds, lighting candles and reciting hope-filled prayers. A mother retelling the tale of her daughter's first winter, wrapped in every blanket the family could spare, surviving together through song and laughter. A shepherd explaining the secret rhythm of sleep among her flock, saying, "Animals teach us we must let go, must trust the night to keep us safe." Odin appeared, bounding up to Erik's side. The boy scratched behind his ears, joy rising in both their hearts. The group's voices faded into a shared silence, a silence not of emptiness, but of collective comfort. The hall's glow wrapped around Erik, a reassuring embrace against every shadow. Suddenly, Erik's grandmother approached, carrying a leather-bound book. She opened it, revealing pages filled with star maps, herb lists, and sleep advice in looping, careful script. We record our rituals so no one ever forgets. Sage for dreams, rosemary for courage, lavender for gentle thoughts, fire for hope, story for peace. Erik traced the words, committing them to memory, his worries gently dissolving. Through a window, he watched the snow falling. It spiraled in slow, quiet waves, catching moonbeams and softening the world outside. Erik remembered, the snow is a blessing, his grandmother had once said. It hides troubles, muffles noise, cloaks the house in sleep's velvet. The hall's doors opened further, and Erik followed the group outside, into a magical night garden blanketed with shimmering frost. There, the villagers laid out small lanterns, each one carrying a wish for healing sleep. They sang old, harmonious songs, notes rising and falling like gentle breathing. Erik was given his own lantern. He whispered his wish, "Let every heart rest tonight," and set it among the others. Together, they watched as the garden glowed, as peace settled in the cold air, as history and love merged in the timeless art of sleep. In this place, Erik knew he belonged, not only to his family, but to a legacy of restful souls who understood the value of letting go. He felt himself floating, lighter than snow, drawn deeper into safe, nurturing slumber. He remembered, sleep is a journey, a gift, a story shared with all who came before and all who will follow. And as the night wore on, Erik and Odin, surrounded by friends and guided by love, drifted soundly healed, restored, and content. The garden lanterns blinked through the frosty darkness, their warmth battling the deep hush of the winter night. Erik breathed in, feeling a sense of timelessness, like he had always been here, joining in an endless lineage of dreamers who found solace in the care of community. As the villagers began to wander back indoors, Erik lingered beneath a snow-laden tree. The hush brought old songs to his mind, lullabies sung by mothers in hidden valleys, by sailors rocked on midnight seas, by elders squatting at fires built from memory and hope. He ran his fingers through Odin's fur, feeling the gentle thump of his tail and remembering childhood nights spent listening to stories by the glow of fading embers. Each night had its own mood, sometimes stormy, sometimes serene, but always ending in sleep's gentle embrace. A flurry of snow dusted his shoulders and hair. He pressed his mittened hands to his cheeks, savoring the sudden coolness. The world was wrapped in pale blue and gold, the last lanterns flickering like faraway stars. Then, as if in answer to his unspoken wish, Erik's mother appeared. She wore her thick cloak, her face soft with kindness. "Ready to come in, my brave one?" she asked. He nodded, suddenly aware of the weight in his eyelids. As they made their way through the sparkling path, she began to tell him another story one passed to her from her own mother, and from that mother's mother before. "It was once believed," she began, "that dreams are carried on the wind. Every hope, every wish we whisper at night, becomes a feather in the pillow of the next dreamer. That's how we stay together, even when we sleep." Erik listened, wrapping the idea around his heart. Odin bounded ahead, eager for the warmth of the fire and the softness of familiar rugs. Inside, the cottage glowed with love. His father stoked the flames, humming a tune low and rough. His sister laid an extra blanket at the hearth for their dog, patting the floor until Odin circled 3 times and collapsed in a furry heap. Freya whispered, "Did you make a wish tonight, Erik?" He smiled and nodded. "I wished that every heart could rest, everywhere." Grandmother, now seated by the fire, reached out a hand for him. "Tonight," she said, "you have become a true keeper of sleep's secrets. You know that comfort isn't just in our blankets or in the food we share, but in the kindness and stories we pass to one another." Erik settled beside her, pillow tucked beneath his head, feet stretched to the waning warmth of the stove. He listened as the grown-ups' voices hushed and their breathing slowed. The fire's last coals shimmered little suns in the cradle of night. As Erik's body stilled, He felt the presence of all those who had come before. He sensed their gentle guidance. A whisper in the wind to soften a nightmare. A song on a moonlade to quiet the heart. The sensation of arms, real or remembered, offering a promise of morning. His final thoughts fluttered from wish to gratitude, and then to nothing at all, as the true depth of sleep claimed him. Snow kept falling, silent and ceaseless, sewing the night closed with threads of peace. In his dreams, the garden remained alive. Lanterns floated into the sky, each carrying a wish for rest, each one becoming a new star for sleepers everywhere. In that gentle kingdom of dreams, Erik was home, and your audience, hearing this story, is home too. Warmed by love, cradled by time, led softly and safely through winter's longest, coziest night. As Erik floated gently through the realms of sleep, the boundaries between his memories and his dreams became a soft mist. The warmth of family, the lessons of ancestors, and the comfort of ritual blended with visions born only in rest. He dreamed of traveling a snowy path lit by the lanterns from the garden. Each lantern he passed held the memory of a wish a child's hope for safety, a grandmother's blessing for peace, a parent's gentle prayer for healing. Their light guided him forward, steady and unwavering, through a world both familiar and enchanted. In his dream, Erik became an explorer again, but this time he was not alone. All those who had listened to his wishes before, villagers, friends, even distant voices, joined him in a quiet procession through the moonlit woods. The snow fell around them, softening each step, muffling sound, wrapping them in a deep, profound calm. Freya skipped ahead, her laughter a gentle melody that made every shadow less daunting. Odin trotted faithfully at Erik's side, his nose pressed to the path, occasionally pausing to enjoy the snowy scents. Together, the group found a clearing where the moon hung heavy and bright. Here, Erik saw old storytellers perched on logs, their voices drifting through the cold air, stitching tales of kindness and courage to the night's quiet rhythm. One storyteller handed Erik a piece of parchment. "Write your own dream tonight," he said. "Fill it with whatever comfort you wish, adventure, love, or simply the peace of a silent snowfall." Erik took the parchment and began to write, his words flowing like the winter wind. "Tonight, I dream of a world where every heart is light, every trouble softens, and every soul finds warmth and a gentle landing." As he wrote, the dream deepened. The snow began to glow with a faint impossibility, each flake catching stories, each shimmering with hope. Erik smiled, feeling his mind grow stiller, more quiet, his body heavier as he nestled closer to awakening in true peace. The circle of friends grew. Among them sat a king wrapped in velvet, a traveling herbalist, a child with sleepy eyes who clutched a knitted doll. Each of them relayed a story, and Erik listened, letting each detail add softness to his own dreams. Odin, sensing Erik's lowering guard, pressed his head to Erik's lap and closed his eyes. The dog's trust became a blanket protection, companionship, and the grounding anchor Erik needed to rest all the way through dawn. The dream was endless. It folded over and over, moving from snowy lanes to warm houses, from quiet gardens to bustling sleep festivals, from peaceful solitude to gentle gatherings. Everywhere, the message was the same. Sleep is not failure, nor avoidance. It is restoration, the gift that brings hope for every new day. Gradually, the dream faded into pure feeling, no longer formed of images or voices, but gentle waves that cradled Erik in warmth and comfort. Erik's heart slowed until it beat in time with the quiet world outside, a slow, steady pulse, shared by all who listened, by all who wished for deep rest tonight. In the final moments before morning threatened the edges of sleep, Erik's last thought was simplicity itself. "I am safe, I am loved. I will wake when the world is ready to greet me." The lanterns burned low, the snow fell slow, and stories became sighs. humming through the calm of sleep's deepest hour. This story you've just heard is more than just a tale about Erik's dream. It's an invitation for you. An invitation to view your own sleep, not as an escape, but as a journey. A journey of restoration, of connection, and of peace. Think about it. Our minds are so busy during the day, constantly processing, worrying, and planning. But when we sleep, we give ourselves permission to let go. We enter a space where our deepest needs can be met, where our minds can find healing and our bodies can find rest. Like Erik, you can be an explorer in your own dreams. You can walk down paths lit by the hopes and wishes you hold for yourself and for others. You can be surrounded by the comforting presence of those you love, even if they are far away. The stories you tell yourself before the sleep have power. They can shape the landscape of your dreams, turning a restless night into a peaceful adventure. Imagine for a moment your own version of this dream. What would your path look like? Would it be a snowy wood, a warm beach, or a field of wildflowers? Who would be walking with you? Perhaps it's a beloved pet like Odin, offering silent, unwavering support. Maybe it's friends, family, or wise mentors from your life. What stories would they tell? What wishes would light your way? Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, try this small ritual. Take a moment to consciously write your own dream. You don't need parchment and ink like Erik. You can just do it in your mind. Close your eyes and visualize a scene of ultimate comfort. Fill it with peace, with love, with adventure, or with whatever your heart desires. Tell yourself a story of kindness and courage. Remind yourself that sleep is a gift. It's the sacred time your body and mind use to heal, to process, and to prepare for a new day. Think of the message from Erik's dream. Sleep is not failure, nor avoidance. It is restoration, the gift that brings hope for every new day. How often do we feel guilty for needing rest? We live in a world that glorifies being busy. But rest is not a weakness. It is the very foundation of our strength, our creativity, and our well-being. By embracing sleep, we are honoring our own need for renewal. And as you drift off, hold on to that final, simple thought that brought Erik such peace. I am safe. I am loved. I will wake when the world is ready to greet me. Let this be your mantra. Let it be the gentle wave that carries you into a deep and restorative sleep. Let it be the anchor that holds you steady through the night so you can awaken refreshed, renewed, and ready to greet the morning. The world can wait. Your worries can wait. Tonight, your only task is to rest, to surrender to the gentle pull of sleep and allow yourself to be cradled in its quiet embrace. Every breath you take can be a step deeper into tranquility. Every beat of your heart, a rhythm of peace. You are not alone on this journey. We are all here, in our own beds, sharing in this universal desire for rest. So let the lanterns of your hopes burn brightly. Let the snow of tranquility fall softly around you. And let the stories of your heart hum you into the calm of sleep's deepest hour. If this story and these thoughts brought you a measure of peace tonight, I hope you'll continue to join us here. We create these spaces for rest and reflection, and we'd be honored to have you as part of our community. Consider subscribing for more content designed to soothe your mind and spirit. Thank you for listening, and may your dreams be filled with light and warmth. As the hours of night began to wane, Erik's dream became softer, transcending story and memory until only the pure essence of comfort remained. The last lantern in his garden flickered, casting a warm, golden blur over the snowy clearing and deep inside his heart. The moon's gentle glow crept through the window, bathing Erik in silvery light. He felt the pull of morning not as a disruption, but as a quiet invitation to renewal. In his sleep, Erik found himself standing at the edge of a shimmering lake, its surface as still and clear as glass. When he looked at his reflection, he saw not just himself, but everyone he loved gathered around him. There was his family, his friends, his neighbors, and even the faces of ancestors he had only known through stories. And you, the listener, were there too. Each figure was peaceful, with eyes closed and breath slow, their hearts beating in a deep, restful unison. In that moment, he understood a profound truth. Sleep, in its deepest form, connects us all. Our dreams are stitched together by threads of hope and kindness, by stories whispered through the darkness, and by the smallest rituals handed down through time. Erik began to walk slowly along the shoreline. Odin, his loyal companion, padded silently beside him, his fur glowing in the soft moonlight. Every step they took pressed delicate traces into the snowy banks, a fleeting record of their shared journey. Nearby, a flock of bird symbols of good fortune nested quietly in the branches of an ancient tree. Their heads were tucked safely under their wings, a perfect picture of trust in the world to keep them safe until morning. A voice, as gentle as the breeze rippling across the water, drifted across the lake. "Rest well, Erik," it whispered, "and know that every night you carry with you the strength of all who have come before. Sleep is your sanctuary, your healing, and your friend." As the voice faded, the sky began to pale. The distant mountains, which had been hidden by the deep shadow of midnight, now glimmered with hints of gold and lavender. The lantern wishes, those heartfelt hopes that had climbed slowly into the night sky, became new stars as the first light of dawn touched the horizon. Then his grandmother appeared once more. She stood beside him, her presence a beacon of warmth and love. She gently brushed the hair from his brow and tucked the thick fur blanket closer around him. Her touch was soft, and her smile shined with all the pride a generation can have for the ones they love. "Your longest night has ended, Erik," she said, her voice filled with tenderness. "Let every new day start with the promise of restful sleep, warmth, safety, and story." As if on cue, Odin rolled onto his back, his paws twitching in the air, snoring contentedly as the last chills of the night melted away into the growing warmth of the morning. Back in his cozy cottage, Erik's family began to stir. He could almost hear his father sipping his morning coffee, the familiar, comforting sound. He could picture his mother humming a quiet tune as she tended to the morning fire, coaxing the flames to life. And he could imagine his little sister, Freya, running giggly laps around the living room, her eyes still sleepy, but her spirit already wide awake. Through each of these simple, everyday actions, the feelings of comfort and love flared anew, filling the small home with an unbreakable bond. Erik stretched, savoring the incredible feeling of a body and mind fully restored by a night of deep, healing sleep. He knew the world outside was cold, yes, but he also knew it was beautiful, softened always by the sacred rituals of sleep and the unbreakable ties of family. He turned his gaze to the window one last time. The snow was beginning to melt, revealing the familiar garden paths beneath. The starlit wishes from the lanterns had transformed, their light now part of the morning sky. It was a beautiful reminder that every night, no matter how long or dark it may seem, must always end in dawn. As Erik prepared to start a new day, he carried the lessons of the night with him. He understood that these lessons were not just for him. They now belong to you as well. They are here for your own journeys, your own sleep stories, and your own healing hours. May you always find rest, may you always feel safe, and may you always know that you are connected to a world of love and hope. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a peaceful and restorative rest. For countless generations, this has been a time of reflection, of stillness, and of quiet hope. Long before our modern world with its bright lights and constant noise, our ancestors gathered close, finding warmth not just in the fire, but in the stories they shared. This night, the winter solstice, was a sacred pivot. It marked the peak of darkness, but it also held the undeniable promise of the sun's return. It was a time to honor the darkness, to rest within its deep, silent embrace, and to trust that light and life would be reborn. Imagine a small village, nestled deep in an ancient snow-covered forest. The world outside is hushed, blanketed in a thick layer of white. The only sounds are the gentle sigh of the wind in the pine branches and the distant, lonely call of an owl. Inside each home, a single hearth fire crackles, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. Families are gathered, their faces illuminated by the warm, golden light. The air is filled with the scent of wood smoke, of drying herbs, and perhaps a stew simmering over the flames. There is no rush, no urgency. The work of the year is done. The harvest is in, the tools are mended, and now is the time for rest. In one such home, an elder begins to speak. Her voice is soft, a comforting murmur against the quiet of the night. She tells the story of the Oak King and the Holly King, the two great rulers who battle for control of the year. The Holly King, with his crown of dark green leaves and bright red berries, reigns supreme now in the heart of winter. He is the king of the waning year, of the darkness and the cold. But tonight, on this very night, the tide turns. The Oak King, representing light, growth, and the waxing year, is reborn. He is just a small seed of light now, a tiny spark of promise, but with each passing day, his strength will grow. The elder's story is not one of good versus evil, but of balance. It teaches that both darkness and light are necessary, that rest is as important as growth, and that every ending is also a new beginning. The children listen, their eyes wide, captivated by the ancient tale. They are wrapped in wool blankets, feeling safe and warm. They know this story by heart, yet they listen as if for the first time, because the telling of it is a ritual, a way of connecting to the rhythm of the world and to the generations who came before them. The story reminds them that even in the deepest, coldest dark, there is a promise of warmth to come. As the elder's voice fades, a comfortable silence settles over the room. Someone might quietly stir the embers in the fire, sending a fresh shower of sparks up the chimney. Another might pass around small, honey-sweetened cakes, a special treat saved for this night. It's a moment of shared peace, of being present with one another, without the need for words. This tradition of honoring the longest night is found all over the world in many different forms. In ancient Rome, they celebrated Saturnalia, a festival of light and gift-giving, where social norms were relaxed and everyone celebrated as equals for a time. In Persia, there was Yalda night, where families stayed up all night, eating, telling stories, and reading poetry to welcome the victory of light over darkness. They would eat watermelons and pomegranates, their red colors symbolizing the glow of life and the dawn. In Scandinavia, the Norse people celebrated Yule. They would burn a massive Yule log, often an entire tree, which would smolder for days, its enduring flame a symbol of hope and a source of warmth through the darkest part of winter. The ashes from the log were considered to have protective and fertilizing properties, and would be scattered on the fields to ensure a good harvest in the coming year. What all these traditions share is a profound understanding of nature's cycles. They are a way of acknowledging the reality of winter as hardship while holding fast to the belief in renewal. They transform a time of potential fear, the fear of a sun that might never return, into a celebration of resilience and hope. It's about finding the light within when the world outside is dark. Let's travel now to another time, another place. Picture a stone circle on a windswept hill in ancient Ireland. It's the morning after the longest night. A community has gathered, their breath misting in the frigid air. They are all facing east, their eyes fixed on a specific point on the horizon, between two standing stones. They have been waiting in the pre-dawn chill, a quiet anticipation humming among them. This is a place like Newgrange, a massive prehistoric monument older than the pyramids. It was built with incredible precision. For just a few days around the winter solstice, as the sun rises, a narrow beam of light penetrates a small opening above the entrance. It travels down a long stone-lined passage and illuminates the central chamber, deep within the earthen mound. For those waiting inside, who have sat in complete and total darkness, this first ray of sunlight is a miracle. It floods the chamber with golden light for a few precious minutes. A direct and powerful message from the cosmos. The sun has returned. The light is coming back. It's a moment of pure magic, a connection to the universe that is both deeply personal and communal. Imagine the feeling of relief, of joy, of awe. This wasn't just an astronomical event. It was a spiritual rebirth. These rituals teach us something vital. They teach us the importance of pausing. Our modern lives often push us to be constantly productive, to fight against periods of rest, to fill every moment. But the wisdom of the solstice invites us to do the opposite. It gives us permission to slow down, to turn inward, to reflect on the year that has passed. What have we learned? What are we ready to let go of? What seeds of intention do we want to plant for the year to come? This is a time for quiet contemplation, for journaling, for sitting with a warm cup of tea and simply being. Just as the earth lies dormant under the snow, gathering its strength for spring, we too can use this time to replenish our own energy. We don't need a stone circle or a Yule log to connect with this feeling. We can create our own small rituals. Perhaps you can light a candle and just watch its flame for a few minutes, focusing on the simple, steady light. You could write down things you're grateful for from the past year and things you hope for in the next. Or maybe you can simply step outside, even for a moment, and look up at the vast, starry sky. Feel the cold on your skin and remember that you are part of this grand cosmic cycle of darkness and light, of rest and renewal. The stories and rituals of the longest night are not just historical curiosities. They are timeless guides. They remind us that our own lives follow similar patterns. We all experience our own personal winter's times of difficulty, of sadness, or of feeling lost in the dark. And just like the winter solstice, these times are not permanent. They are a necessary part of the cycle. They are periods for rest, for healing, and for gathering the strength we need to grow again. The longest night teaches us to have faith in the dawn. It assures us that even when we can't see it, the light is always preparing for its return. It encourages us to find comfort in the quiet, to seek warmth in community, and to cherish the small sparks of hope that can guide us through the darkness. It's a celebration of endurance, a festival of quiet strength, and a promise that after the deepest rest comes the most vibrant awakening. Thank you for traveling with me tonight through the longest, quietest night. If your mind feels lighter, your heart warmer, perhaps your own sleep will come easier, surrounded by memory, hope, and gentle story. If you enjoyed this sleep journey, please subscribe to Boring Sleepy Historian for more comforting adventures, ancient rituals, and peaceful storytelling. Like, share, and join our sleepy family here. Every night is safe, every story brings rest, and every listener is cherished. Good night, sleep deep, and may the peace of the longest night guard your dreams until morning. As the echoes of Erik's journey fade, a peaceful hush sweeps through your space. The story's warmth lingers gently in the quiet edges of your mind, inviting your body to settle, your spirit to rest. You, like Erik, have traveled through a long night and come through softer, stronger, and ready for deep, healing sleep. Let the last traces of the story wrap around you, a blanket woven from the laughter of family, the wisdom of generations, the calm of snowy nights, and the promise of dawn. Now, as you lie back with your own breath steady, I invite you to let go of every last worry. There is nothing left to do tonight but rest. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with calm and gratitude. Breathe out, letting go of every care, every tightness, everything you carried with you into the night. Your body knows what to do. Your mind is ready to be still. Let the gentle weight of relaxation settle over you, starting from the top of your head, softening your scalp, your forehead, and your temples. Feel the small muscles around your eyes release their hold, allowing your eyelids to rest heavy and closed. Let your jaw unclench, your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. A wave of ease flows down your neck and into your shoulders, melting away any tension you might be holding there. Tonight, let your mind be gentle with itself. Remind yourself, I am safe. I am warm. I am loved. My heart is strong and open. It is okay to rest. Feel these words resonate within you, not just as ideas, but as truths. You have earned this rest. You deserve this peace. Every sense feels soothed, the heaviness of your limbs anchoring you to this moment, the softness of the bed beneath you supporting your whole being. Notice the air on your skin, the quiet sounds of the room, the gentle rise and fall of your own chest. You are here now, and all is well. Recall the Garden of Lanterns from Erik's dream. Imagine those lanterns floating around your bed, each one carrying a wish for peace, for gentle dreams, for kindness in the quiet. See their soft, golden light filling your room with a warm, comforting glow. These are lanterns of hope, lanterns of healing. Perhaps like Erik, you will find that your own wishes travel beyond your room, joining the wishes of families from every era, every culture, every corner of the world. In sleep, we are all connected. In rest, we all heal together. Feel this connection, this shared desire for peace, as a comforting presence surrounding you. You are not alone in this quiet moment. If sleep has not yet arrived, that is perfectly fine. Let yourself drift with the slow, calming rhythm of your breath. There is no need to force anything. Simply be present with the sensation of breathing. Inhale a sense of deep calm and exhale any lingering restlessness. Perhaps you can repeat this gentle affirmation, either aloud or in the softest whisper of your mind. With every breath, I grow calmer. With every heartbeat, I feel more at ease. Sleep is coming to me now, as gently and surely as the snow. Allow the words to become a soothing mantra, a gentle lullaby for your mind. If your thoughts stray, simply let them pass like clouds or snowflakes, drifting, harmless, soon dissolving. There is no need to engage with them, no need to follow them down a path. Just acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your focus back to your breath. You are safe here. Nothing can disturb you. You are the quiet observer, watching the weather of your mind from a place of deep stillness and security. If you feel sadness or worry, remember the rituals of Erik's family, how a warm drink, a simple story, a shared blanket, or even a quiet song could turn the darkest night into a sanctuary. You can create your own sanctuary right here, right now. Your breath is your anchor. The comfort of your bed is your safe harbor. Now, picture a single flame lantern at your bedside, its light steady and golden. This flame represents your inner strength, your resilience, your enduring hope. Let its glow remind you that even in the deepest night, there is always hope and always warmth within you. This light can never be extinguished. It is a part of who you are. Let this feeling of warmth and safety spread throughout your body. Imagine sleep as a gentle, flowing tide, starting at the tips of your toes. Feel it slowly travel up your feet, into your ankles, and up your calves, releasing all tension as it goes. The wave of relaxation moves into your knees and up your thighs, your legs feeling heavy and deeply relaxed. It fills your hips and your lower back, soothing and softening every muscle. The wave continues up your spine, through your abdomen, and into your chest, calming your heart and slowing your breath even more. It flows down your arms, through your elbows and wrists, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Finally, this gentle tide of sleep washes over your shoulders, up your neck, and into your head, softening your face, closing your eyes, and embracing your mind in a cocoon of peace, ready for rich, colorful dreams. Tonight, all is well. You are right where you belong. The peaceful night will watch over you, and you will wake in the morning refreshed, ready for a new day of possibility, comfort, and joy. Trust in the restorative power of sleep. Trust that your body and mind know how to heal. Let go completely now, surrendering to the deep, nourishing darkness. Good night, dear friend. From the family of Boring Sleepy Historian, may your rest be deep, your dreams be kind, and your heart always know the gentle strength of the longest night. Sleep now. Sleep well.